Hello, I'm Atlantic Frog, and welcome back to Citizen Sleeper. I can't remember what we're supposed to be doing. Studied the flux, help sell the tensions. Okay. And then there's also something with, what's his face? I can't remember. Yeah, Lemon Mina. I don't know what's gonna happen, but it's gonna be something. Right. Let's figure out what's going on. So, Pilgrim Seed. Okay, we need Matsutake caps, which we do have. So I might as well do that now. And just put them in. What is the step, song, and hearth? Oh, I have to do all three, ships things. Right. Okay. I just keep feeding them Matsutake caps. This is easy. Perfect. Right. Then I can put 5 in here. And put a 4 in here. Which will turn into a 5. Reroll. Perfect. We're almost done. Climbing Briar. We need flux data from a node in the wastes. I'll check that out in a second. Dust houses. I need to put stuff in there. Docking axis. That shouldn't be too hard. And there's nothing else here. What is this flux to node? We need a 6 or a 5. A 6 or a 5, okay. Alright. Complete active scenes, what? Is an active scene? Oh, probably Bliss, right? If I go up in the Ascender car. Yes. When you enter the bay, it's weirdly quiet. Moritz must be out on some errand, and maybe Bliss is prepping the kit? What are you doing? Can you get out? We're mad at you right now. We're mad because you killed one of our friends. No, you killed another sleeper. And that's messed up, alright? I can't even remember your voice. It's been so long since I've seen you. I don't know. Sleeper. No, maybe. Sleeper. Ankita's drifting at one side of the bay. You missed her completely when you came in. The idea of not seeing Ankita when you entered a room would have seemed unlikely to you several cycles ago, but seeing her without her armor, she looks smaller, less imposing. Ankita. She nods and kicks off from the wall, drifting closer. So what is this? She asks. Come to avenge Ashton or a sleeper? Or just looking for another payout? Her anger is familiar but quieter than before, restrained. I don't want to fight. Then why are you here? She looks away, and you can tell her anger isn't directed at you in particular. It radiates off her like fire. You better be ready to sign, comes a shout from the bay entrance. Because I got my best repaired tech coming up here, especially, and they're going to... Bliss glides in and suddenly stops herself when she sees you and Ankita standing off. Oh, it's Sleeper, you're already here. Miss Cassetta, this is the tech I was telling you about. Best on the... She stops, looking between the two of you. Wait, do you two know each other? You and Ankita look at each other. We work together. Bliss squints at you both before continuing. Bliss produces a slate. Now, Miss Cassetta, if you'd like to sign our damage waiver here, we can start on the decommissioning. She looks at you. My tech here is eager to get started, as am I. Ankita scrawls her signature across the slate. Thank you. Bliss pauses. And everything is okay with the special payment terms we discussed? She gives Ankita a strange smile. All fine, says Ankita, giving you another hard look. Then she kicks off and drifts to the entrance. I'll be in the gimbal, she says and leaves. Special payment terms? She looks over her glasses at you. Look, Sleeper, there's something I have to tell you. She glances around again. What's she so nervous about? This isn't exactly a typical job. Miss Cassetta, Ankita, she gives you a knowing look, doesn't have the chips to pay us, so we've made a special agreement. She sighs. I'm leaving. What? Leaving? Keep it down. I haven't told Moritz yet. She looks down. She's waiting to break it to him. Don't you tell him either. She stares hard at you. I'll tell him when I'm ready, and I don't want him getting worried about Ankita's history. He can be very protective. You should tell him. Look, all I care is that she's heading for the Starward Belt. She looks out of the bay. That's where I'm headed. She turns back to face you. Also, I want to ask, she stops, unsure, if you'd like to come with us. I mean... Technically, I would, because that is an ending. I would. She interrupts before you answer. Oh, great. I know things have been hard for you on the eye, and you helped me so much. I asked Ankita if she'd carry 2 of us, and she said yes. Moritz will take over the bay anyway, although if you stay, you are welcome to help him run it. I just thought, she sighs, he might be in need of a fresh start as much as I am. She turns away nervously. Think about it anyway. The berth is there. We've got to finish the job first anyway. And with that, she kicks away and heads to the racks before you can offer an answer. Moments later, Moritz enters with a new cutting torch for the disarming of the ambergris. The Starward Belt. You push your thoughts to the back of your mind. Time to get to work. Is there... There's no clock on this. Okay. Because there's no clock on this, this is our ending. We're gonna go with Bliss and Ankita to... question mark, question mark, question mark. And there's really no negative timer. So we have as much time as we need. Okay. Alright. Okay, we're gonna sleep then. We're not even gonna mess with it yet. I don't want to touch it. We're starving. I'll go ahead and inject stabilizer now. Right. Side reel dock. Ooh. Huh. That's interesting. Maybe we won't... I don't know. Okay, we'll have to think a bit more about it. Let me buy a meal. Okay. Alright, let's do more of the Flux stuff. Oh, and we have to check on Lemon Mina, which we'll do in a second, because I want to exhaust my dice before I do that. Let's see. It's up here. Oh, wait. I have to do this. Bypass. Nice. 1 flux data. Perfect. Where do I put this? Here. Oh, hey Peak. Sleeper, come look at this. Peak is poring over one of the displays of the makeshift decoding suite they have set up in the Climbing Briar's cargo bay. On the screen, a clump of data pathways like an ingrown root ball has started to untangle. This is an existing node, corrupted by the Flux event. It's totally twisted up. They glance at you to check you're listening. But inside, you watch as the unwinding pathways leave behind patterns of negative spaces, like shadows staying behind despite their caster leaving. Sorry, that was a weird way. Like shadows staying behind despite their caster leaving. It's a whole other data set. That feels like the wrong voice. Peak's eyes shine bright in the pale screen light. The Flux event somehow needs this data deep into the gaps in the node, wrapping them around it. That's better. Why? Peak pauses. I have no idea. You watch the screen, the pattern of shadows becoming obvious now as each layer of pathways is pulled away. The Flux event itself really did a number on unprotected nodes like this one. Most of the eye's systems are screened against radiation interference, but these exposed nodes? Peak makes a ripping motion with their hands, torn apart. Peak points to a thick tangle of threads on the screen. God, I'm sorry. Look here, it looks like it's been tangled purposefully, but it's actually that all the points within the node have been randomly rearranged. It's as if the node was a bag of ball bearings and the Flux shook them. The pathways tried to account for the rearrangement once the system came back on, hence the tangle. Peak pauses as the node continues to unwind. I don't know why I'm having such trouble speaking today. Let me take a sip of actual water. Drink water. Although, Peak muses, it was less like shaking a bag of ball bearings and more like making them all simultaneously occupy a superposition of every possible position in the bag before locking them back into a new configuration. They smile sheepishly, but that's a technicality. So what is the flux? We know it's a wave. One with exotic effects, that's all. Peak runs a hand through their hair. The question is not so much what flux is, but what is causing it, where it's coming from. Peak turns away from the screen, meeting your eye, and there's something else. They pause. Have you spoken with the refugees? Little. Peak lowers their voice instinctively. What they're reporting, mass system failures, cascading collapses of life support, of terraforming systems, total data corruption, Peak swallows. The flux shouldn't do that. It can fundamentally rearrange the structure of systems. Bless you. Especially those poorly shielded, but totally collapsing, heavy-duty industrial systems, fail-safes and all, that doesn't make sense. Those kinds of systems are built for deep space, for solar flares and radiation. The flux might penetrate them, but any reconfiguration should have been repairable. Peak looks back at the screen where the decoding node lies almost fully open. A shadow pattern of the negative spaces that existed within its scrambled interior darkens the screen, like a set of bruises showing the pattern of the object that made them. I need to look into something. I have an idea what might be causing this wave, triggering the flux, but I need time to research it. Can I help? Peak shakes their head. I'm sorry, Sleeper, but I want to keep this to myself for now. If you need something to do, the flotilla could surely do with the help. From what I heard from Ash, things are tense there. Where is Ash? Peak glances around the bay. Must be out. I've been focusing on this, so I can't say I've noticed, although the quiet is nice. They smile. Give me some time, Sleeper. Peak turns back to their console. I'll have some answers soon enough, I hope. You take one last glance at the uncoiling node as you leave. The dark shape it leaves behind, somehow troubling. You try to shake them from your mind. There are things to be done elsewhere. 6 cycles! Fine. Well, we do need to do this. Great, I gotta talk to Soul. He kinda hurts my voice. Soul finds you deep in the layers of the Pilgrim Seed, working on a patch for a life support vent. You hear him coming, his suit hissing as he does. I had to ask around to find you. He smiles. Seems you know the place better than me these days. I've put in the time. And we thank you for it. Soul holds out a hand. Stand up and let me see you. He pulls you to your feet. I don't believe we ever had a sleeper on Ember's Hearth. Soul looks you up and down. You sure do make me wish we had. Could have done with a few workers as good as you. Is that offensive to Sleeper? I'm just gonna say thank you. Soul nods. You're welcome. Seems like I owe you some answers, seeing as you've been working hard on the Pilgrim Seed these past cycles. He leans against a crate, his suit creaking. What do you want to know about? If I say the flux, I'm not gonna get the answers I want. I know that. So I'm gonna ask about Ember's Hearth. Sure, he smiles. I mean, I spent my whole life on that rock, so I have plenty to tell. I'll save my life story for another time, he winks. But the short of it is that Hearth is the first of Ember's moons. The biggest and the most populated, which is down to the successful terraforming system Cybio set up back in Solheim on the system even. How are relations with the other moons? Soul smiles. Depends who you've been talking to. You shouldn't mistake me for a politician, Sleeper. That's for others to do. He gives you a look. But Ember's Step was a test ground for the terraforming tech that Hearth is built on, while Ember's Song was the extraction site for the raw materials and energy need to make it work. You can imagine that might lead to some tension. However, Soul holds up a hand. Despite what people might say, Hearth was never fully stable. Soul shakes his head. Cybio liked to talk it up, but after they pulled out and Solheim left, our people discovered they'd have to keep the systems running themselves, or the place would soon end up as dry as Steppe. I assume Steppe is a planet we've heard about before. I can't remember. Earth was as good as the evaporators kept running, kept filling our skies with clouds. Even after the collapse, our people kept those things going,
Turn that subsurface ocean into a periwinkle blue sky.
Sol smiles.
Flux ended that though, and when they failed, the rains failed, and the harvest with it.
Sol pauses.
And soon you have a city without a way to feed itself.
Sol shudders.
That's when we, some of us, made the decision to set out on this place.
He gestures at the pilgrim seed.
And look for another future.
Sol shifts on the crate.
Anything else you want to ask?
What's something? Tell me about you. Sol squints at you.
You want to know about me? I'm not sure that was part of the deal I was thinking of, Sleeper. Unless you're asking about this.
He raps on the metal of his suit.
In case you haven't guessed, this is the only thing keeping me vertical.
He adjusts his shoulder piece.
It's a lifter suit, made for work in the fields. We had to modify it so I could walk around after the accident. And that's all I'm That's all I'm saying, Sleeper. Because to be honest with you, I don't know you more than that. You want to know about the Flux, about Ember's Earth? Go ahead. But don't pry into my life, and I won't pry into yours.
Sol lets the silence hit, staring hard at the floor. The suit seems to loom over him, looking more like a burden than a support. With the bars around his head, you suddenly start to think of it as a cage. Hold on, let me take another sip of water.
Look, I don't mean to be rude. Let's leave it there. There's too many eyes on me on this ship as it is, and I'd rather just slip into the background, thank you very much. Anything else you want to ask?
I guess I'll ask about the Flux, why not?
That's what I imagined. He scratches at his beard. I can't say I'm an expert, but I can tell you what we witnessed on Earth. At first we ignored it. A few farms had their automation systems blink out, lifter suits locked up, bots reset their schedules. Nothing we hadn't seen before. But then the news came out of Passero that they'd been hit harder. The local network had gone down and no one could get it back up. It was rough for a while. But out in the farmland, we were used to that.
Passero?
Capital of Earth. Tens of thousands of souls made it their home.
Sol grimaces. I really should change his voice for the good of my health, but it fits him really well. I mean, come on. What other voice do I do for this guy?
Anyway, we thought the Flux was a freak event until the day they got the network running again. That's when the cascade happened. System after system corrupted, data lost, and then another Flux hit and another. The bots are running circles in the fields. People had to be cut out of lifter suits like the mine and the city. And I never saw it, but I heard from the others.
Sol shivers. Damn.
It only got worse from there. We couldn't seem to fight it. Cut us right open. That's what I know about the Flux. Some folks say it came from the inner system, that it might be connected to some old tech there or something, but I never heard anything more than rumors.
Sol scratches their beard.
Sorry, I don't have better news.
Sol shifts on the crate.
Anything else you want to ask?
What else would I ask? Sol nods.
What do you want to know about?
Something buzzes on Sol's suit. He glances at it and frowns.
Looks like time's up, Sleeper.
I can tell, yeah, there was nothing else to ask. Oh, my back. Sol stands flexing against the suit. He takes his cane in his hand.
Keep it up, Sleeper.
He smiles as he leaves.
You're making me think I need to start making new plans for this place.
With that, Sol leaves, and you wonder what he means. As he creaks away from down the corridor, you can't help but feel there's more to him than it seems. Oh yeah, there definitely is. I just don't know what yet. Well, that's one thing done. Now I need to put my efforts into the dust houses and the docking axis. I suppose we'll start with this. Put that in. Alright. Oh yeah, we gotta talk to Lem and Mina. Lem's voice is not nearly as hard to do. And neither is Mina's. Just in case, though, I'm going to take another sip of water. There's no answer when you buzz Lem's unit, but the door is open. You push the door and find Mina sitting in the middle of the floors playing with Bun Bun. Hi, Mina. Hi, robot, says Mina sullenly, waving Bun Bun's paw without looking up. How are you? Bun Bun is sad, says Mina, nodding the toy's head in agreement. Like Daddy. You look around the unit. It's a mess. Dishes and glasses on the side, some of Mina's clothes piled up in a corner. Mina's sitting by her bag, which is spilled out across the floor, her drawing slate cracked and dark. Let's tidy up. We start with the kitchen units, piling up the dishes in the auto wash, and sorry, I don't know why I'm laughing. And wiping them down. You pile the clothes up next, folding them neatly. Mina watches you quietly as she plays, curious but silent. You just started to look at fixing her cracked slate when Lem enters. Sleeper, what do you... He pauses and looks from you to Mina and back again. Never mind. He drops a bag by the door and slumps onto the couch. Everything okay? Lem lets out a weak laugh. You forgot about the fast few cycles now too? Wish I was so lucky. Ooh, God. That's not really Lem's voice. I gotta do it more accurately. He looks away at the open door. Look, now's not a good time. I wanna help. Help? Unless you have a side wheel ticket or two on you, I don't think there's much you can do here. He pinches the bridge of his nose. You understand they never even put us on the list, right? I've been all around the rim looking for work, and I've run into more than a few from the crews. It turns out only long-time Havenage members were issued those Celis ID numbers. They never even planned to consider us. Havenage say they didn't know that was what they were going to use to make the draw, and who knows, maybe Celis pulled the wool over their eyes. But what does it matter? All those hours in the yards for a hand-to-mouth wage and nothing else. He slams his hand down on the sofa. You're giving up? Lem opens his mouth to respond, but stops himself. He looks at the open door again. They're moving the side wheel up the hub now, you know, he says without meeting your eye. That's where it'll depart from. They're bringing a ship with all their cryo-sleeper pioneers and transferring them up there in microgravity before loading the crew. Stealing a ticket might be a little hard. Sneaking aboard is within the realm of possibility. Though, probably stealing a ticket. But I don't like that it's a question mark. Steal a ticket. We could sneak aboard. Maybe. I don't know. What should I do? We could steal a ticket. Lem laughs. There's no tickets. I was joking before. Just those ID numbers, coded as someone's identity. No stealing that. He looks over at Mina. Look, we'll be fine. We always have been. I just need a little time. He sighs. We had our hearts set on that trip is all. Mina comes over and climbs into his lap. He smiles. What if I got you on board? I missed you these past few cycles. I miss that optimism. Lem strokes Mina's hair. Look, you want to go up to the hub and ask around? Be my guest. I can't get up there with Mina down here, and I'm sure the side wheel will bring a crowd. Be careful. This kind of thing always attracts scammers and thieves. You find any way on board? You take it. You need help to get there? Ask me, but for now, me and Mina here are sticking to the eye. She looks up at him and smiles. I'll find a way for us all. I will! Lem smiles but doesn't say anything. You stand to leave and Mina grabs your hand, eager to give you one more smile. Then you're out, back in the walkways at the low end, already thinking of plans to make this right. Interesting. I mean, if that option is available, we're going with Lem and Mina. I don't care. Lem and Mina is my priority. Side wheel dock. Okay, scout the dock. I can try scanning the dock tomorrow. Alright. Blend cycle. But I mean, not yet. I'm gonna hold off because I think those two are very, very close to the ending. So I don't want to mess with the ambergris or the side wheel dock just yet, considering, I mean, they're not timed. so I don't need to worry about them. So I won't worry about them. Let's descend. And we'll do more work on the DLC stuff. So right now, that's kind of my main priority. Let's see. Dust houses. We'll put in 5. Please don't take any energy from me. Put this in. Reroll. Ooh, nice. Put that in. Perfect. I can talk to Aki. I won't yet though. What is this? If I get a negative, like, am I gonna die? Am I gonna get energy taken away? I don't want to do that. Okay, just in case, I'm going to work at the Haifa commune. So I can just get some easy energy back. We'll talk to Aki, and then we'll sleep. I see you've been contributing. Aki stands next to you at the dust house window. I was unsure what to expect when we joined the flotilla on its voyage to the Eye, but after the journey across the system, then the quarantine, and then the flux reaching all the way out here too. Aki stops herself. Thank you. She bows a little. The other ships have only been interested in sending us supplies, but we grow all we need. She gestures at the dust house. What the dust houses need, that is the problem that concerns us. She smiles and turns to you. Shall we go inside? Into the dust house? Where else? She taps away at a panel by the window. Seems only fair that after your help with the support systems, you get to see what it is that you are maintaining. Aki leads you to an opening beside the window. You pass through a dark, changing room. You notice Aki sliding on an oxygen mask and visor. She looks at the swirling dust inside. Inside is just like Ember's Step. Thin atmosphere, constant dust storms, nothing that will bother you. She passes you a mask. The dust isn't exactly pleasant to inhale, however, so take this. You hold it to your face. She leads you through a short decontamination tunnel with its fizzing panels of purifying light and then into the dust house. Immediately, the wind and the heat hits you. You feel the rough waves of dust scattering across your face and peer through the amber murk. Your feet slide on shifting piles of sand. Welcome to Step, or an emulation of it at least. Aki's voice sounds distant, echoey. The terraforming process only managed to provide a limited atmosphere around the moon, one which is slowly escaping. It's been like that since I was born, so I got used to the idea. You catch her bright eyes through the amber dust. So did everything else that lives there. You feel something hard beneath your feet, beneath the sand like a coil of rope. What's under the sand? This is Step Silk. It's one of the plants we establish on Step. She kicks away some red sand. Let me scoot up a bit. Right. She kicks away some red sand. Like any bast fiber, it can be retted and woven into clothes. I'm wearing some made from it myself. It's one of many species adapted to Step since the Solheim collapse, which is why it must be preserved. She stares out into the swirling dust. It's as much a refugee as we are, and the dust houses hold hundreds of other species. You look at the pale, unassuming root, threaded thickly through the sand. Aki watches you silently. Had enough? It will be easier to speak outside. Aki leads you back out through the decontamination tunnel, which blasts the dust from both of you with a burst of metallic-tasting air and into the changing room. Aki hangs up both the masks, patiently awaiting your questions. What happened on Ember Step? That's the more important one. Aki pauses, pulling her shawl around her. She looks small and pale inside its layers. Step was already a doomed world, she sniffs. When Solheim gave the terraforming contract to Cybiel, they believed they could build an atmosphere, but the moon's erratic orbit made it impossible to maintain. By the time of the Solheim collapse, the atmosphere was already fading, and Cybiel's attention was on Ember's hearth. After the collapse, Cybiel fell too, its researchers scattered across the moons, and any central organization lost. Since then, my parents' generation worked tirelessly to survive.
to adapt what we add to the failing moon. The steppe silk, the other adapted species, are the life's work of the steppe's colonies. So when the flux started to collapse, our computer systems corrode and destroy our life support, our water supply, our agriculture, we had to leave.
Aki sits heavily on a nearby bench.
Soon the only traces of steppe will be on this ship.
Aki begins to cry quietly. You're unsure what to do. You sit beside her. Comfort. We need to comfort. We need to be nice. You sit on the bench beside her as she sobs. You understand why this ship, why the refugees from Steppe, are so different. Their world was already dying when the flux arrived. Ember Steppe is a terraformed moon, a partial atmosphere, established colonies, agriculture. And yet, when the flux event started, its people had to leave. You think of the eye and the delicate web of decaying systems it rests upon. What hope does a ruined station have against a wave that corrupts, corrodes, and collapses? Aki interrupts your thoughts, rubbing her eyes.
Not everyone left. There wasn't room to take all the people and fill the dust houses. My parents, their friends, and many others stayed.
She sniffs.
We carry the steppe for them.
Perhaps there's hope.
We learn not to talk of hope on a dying world. There is meaning for them, and any future they can build with the time they have.
She stands up.
I wanted you to understand the importance of these dust houses, of what they contain.
She leads you back into the corridor.
If the flux events continue to reach out to the eye, we need to build protections to ensure their safety.
Aki meets your eye. I can help. Aki smiles weakly.
I knew it. You will be welcome on the wind's long shadow whenever you wish. These dust houses are already decaying. I have seen it.
She stares into the dust.
We had thought that they would last longer, but the last flux event. Help us.
Aki looks at you.
Please.
I will. I will. I will.
When you are ready, we will begin the preparations for reinforcing the dust houses. We need to be ready for the next flux event.
Aki's eyes shine with the last of her tears.
She takes a breath. I will see you soon.
Aki drifts away down the corridor, leaving you alone once more at the viewing window, watching the ragged, delicate traces of the moon known as Ember Steppe. Is there anything else here? Yes, there is still more to do here. I mean, I can't do it, because I'm out of dice, but there is still more to do. Let's sleep. Sleep. Alright. We'll put some more into this. Ooh, danger. That's scary. We can do this, first of all. We can do this. And this. Why am I doing that? That gives less preservation. I can do this. Don't fail. Yay. And I can do this. I'm gonna get another conversation, aren't I? Yup. God damn it. You and Aki stand side by side at the viewing window in silence. Dust swirls and you glimpse the twisted root systems of the Sepstoke through the ochre haze. After all these cycles, you feel a strange connection to a world on which you have never set foot. Aki shifts from foot to foot. She seems restless, eager to speak but unsure of what to say. The dust houses look good. Aki smiles at you warmly.
They do.
She pauses and turns back to the window.
What is the value of all this?
She asks suddenly.
Of preserving a world we have left behind.
Heritage. Aki is silent for a moment.
Our practices, our lives require the materials, the patterns that Steppe provides. But if those practices remain unchanged while the universe around them shifts, aren't they already dead? She pauses. What is better, to preserve at all costs or to allow things to be destroyed by change? Tough question. Don't know.
Aki paces away, lost in thought.
I'm grateful to you for helping protect the dust houses, for ensuring their slide into decay is delayed, even averted, but now I find myself at an impasse. The stability of the dust houses changes things. It makes me aware of how blinkered we have been.
Aki stops to look at you. Her posture somehow different.
If the ecosystems of Steppe, if its people cannot grow to meet the future, why preserve it?
She frowns.
Are we just slaves to the preservation of what came before?
You can change. I guess, I don't know. I'm struggling here. Aki comes close, holds your hands in hers.
We must change. We must change to live.
She smiles.
I have seen that in you. The steppe, these people, this ship, should serve more than heritage, than history. They should serve the future.
She takes a breath.
There are those in the flotilla that need clothes, that need food, that can benefit from the gifts of the steppe's ecosystem. I want you to invite them. Can you do that for me?
Yes, I can. I don't even need to know how.
I know that Soul sent you.
She smiles.
You can tell him Aki, captain of the wind's long shadow, invites all the people of the flotilla to come.
All right. She nods. Aki steps away.
You want to know about the flux, no? About its purposes, its origins? She smiles. You wish to protect your home as we could not. I'm afraid I don't have much to tell you. It is an exotic wave of sorts, an energy that passes through matter. It shifts the very charged particles which run through our electrical systems.
Okay. I'm struggling to understand, like, any of this.
It is possible to shield against it, as you would radiation, as we have done with the dust houses, but only while it is weak. The flux event here was much like the first ones we felt on Ember Steppe. Localized, destructive, but bearable. But in time, its strength grew. I don't know if it will be the same here, but... She pauses. It is coming from the center of the system, from the close orbit of Helion's star, H1. That is all we could uncover.
She's silent for a moment, unsure of what to add.
I'm sorry I cannot offer more, but you are always welcome on this ship.
She smiles.
I hope I will see you when the others come.
She squeezes both your hands.
I hope this ship, these dust houses, can be more than a museum. I hope they can be a home.
With this, she turns and leaves, and you feel that word home resonating within you like a struck bell. Damn. Not even an upgrade point, so I can upgrade again. Whatever. I don't have any more dice. And... I'm gonna sleep, and then leave it there. Come on. Come on. Yeah. We're gonna leave it here. Endings are in sight. And I think we're definitely going to try to prioritize going with Lem and Mina on the side reel. If we can't, though, I don't know. We just can't. Hopefully, though, we can. But I've been Ellen Frog, and thanks for watching.